They demanded that my new house be big enough to comfortably fit my Golden Brothers family, because apparently my success should benefit them first. So I made a quiet purchase, one they knew nothing about. The day they showed up, I heard screaming from the driveway. "How the hell are we supposed to fit in this?" Some people say blood is thicker than water, but I learned early that favoritism runs thicker than both. I, Paula, 34, female, live in Denver. Not bad for a kid who grew up being told she was too independent for her own good. But let me rewind to where this all started, the day my brother Tyler was born, when I was 4. From that moment on, I might as well have been invisible, unless they needed something from me. Tyler's always been what you'd call a natural charmer. 3 years younger, good-looking in that effortless way that gets you through life without trying, and blessed with the kind of confidence that only comes from never hearing the word no. Our parents, Linda and Rick, treated him like he was made of gold from day one. I remember being 11 and saving up for months from my paper route to buy this remote control helicopter I'd been wanting. Cost me $89, a fortune for a kid. Tyler saw it, decided he wanted one too, and boom, Mom and Dad bought him the deluxe version for $300 the next day. When I asked why I had to save for months while Tyler got his instantly, Dad just shrugged and said, "Tyler's going through a tough time at school. He needed something to cheer him up." That became the family motto. Paula's fine on her own, but Tyler needs extra help. Christmas morning was always like watching two different families. Tyler would have this mountain of presents, the latest PlayStation, designer clothes, expensive sports equipment he'd use maybe twice. My pile was always smaller, filled with practical gifts, tools, books, savings bonds I couldn't even touch until I was 18. The worst part wasn't the gifts, though. It was the praise. Tyler could bring home a D+ and get a celebration dinner at his favorite restaurant because he tried really hard this semester. I'd bring home straight A's and honor roll certificates and get a nod with, "That's nice, Paula," before they immediately shifted to asking Tyler about his day. By middle school, I started noticing the pattern everywhere. Tyler broke Mom's favorite vase playing ball in the house. Accidents happen, sweetie. I accidentally spilled juice on the carpet. 20-minute lecture, lost TV privileges for a week. Tyler got caught cheating on a test. Mom marched down to the school to argue with the teacher about how the test was unfair, and Tyler was just struggling with test anxiety. I forgot to turn in one assignment. "Paula, you're so irresponsible. How are you going to succeed in life if you can't handle simple tasks?" The double standard was so obvious that even my friends started commenting on it. My buddy Jake once asked why my parents treated Tyler like he was made of glass while expecting me to handle everything perfectly. I didn't have an answer then. I do now. By high school, I'd figured out the game. I wasn't going to win the favorite child competition. So I focused on building something they couldn't take away from me. Got into finance and business early, started learning about investments, built my first stock portfolio with lawn mowing money. While Tyler was partying and barely maintaining a 2.5 GPA, I was pulling down a 3.9 and planning my escape route. I started my own lawn care business at 16, undercutting the local companies and providing better service. Within a year, I had 12 regular customers and was making more money than most adults in part-time jobs. Tyler couldn't even be bothered to maintain a summer job at the local pool for more than 3 weeks because it interfered with his social life. The real wake-up call came during college planning. Tyler wanted the full experience at Colorado State. 4 hours away, expensive dorms, meal plans, the works. Kid had never held a job in his life, but wanted to study communications because it sounded easy. And of course, Mom and Dad were all for it. Me? I'd gotten into University of Colorado Denver with a partial scholarship for finance. Solid school, tough program, and I could live at home to save money. Seemed responsible, right? Wrong. The day I told them my plan, Mom hit me with a financial bomb that changed everything. "That's wonderful, Paula," she said when I explained I'd commute to save money. "But if you're staying here, you'll need to contribute to household expenses. We'll need $900 a month for your room and board." I literally laughed. I thought she was joking. $900 a month? I was working part-time at a financial planning office, making $8.50 an hour. That would be over 25 hours a week just to pay rent to my own parents. "Mom, Tyler's entire college experience is going to cost you guys like $40,000 a year. I'm trying to save you money by staying home." Her face went cold. "Tyler needs our support to succeed in college. You've always been self-sufficient. This will teach you responsibility." Dad backed her up completely. It's time you learned what the real world costs, young lady. So let me get this straight. Tyler's lack of responsibility meant he deserved a free ride, but my responsibility meant I deserved to pay premium rent to live in my childhood bedroom? The logic was so backwards it gave me whiplash, but I paid it. Every single month for 4 years. Worked 30-plus hours a week while taking advanced economics, financial analysis, and business management courses. Lived on ramen and peanut butter sandwiches while Tyler called home asking for extra spending money because he wanted to take some girl to a fancy restaurant. I still remember overhearing Mom on the phone with him. "Of course, sweetie, I'll transfer $500 to your account. College should be fun, not stressful about money." Meanwhile, I was literally doing homework in my car between work shifts because I couldn't afford the campus parking pass. The real kicker came during my junior year when Tyler decided he wanted to change his major to sports management because communications was too hard. This required him to take an extra year of classes, adding another $40,000 to his already massive bill. Mom and Dad didn't even hesitate. Of course, Tyler should follow his dreams. That same semester, I asked if they could help me pay for a financial planning certification course that would boost my career prospects. Cost $400. Their response? "Paula, you're so good with money. We're sure you can figure out how to afford it yourself." I paid for that certification with money I'd saved from skipping meals. The insult to injury? They'd brag to their friends about how independent and responsible I was, like they'd done me some kind of favor by charging me rent, as if financial struggle was character building, but only for me. Tyler graduated with a 2.3 GPA in sports management after 5 years. I graduated summa cum laude with a finance degree and 3 job offers after 4. Guess whose graduation got the bigger celebration? If you guessed Tyler's barely passed by the skin of his teeth ceremony, you'd be right. They threw him a huge party, invited all the relatives, and spent over $2,000 on catering. For mine, we went to Applebee's, just the 4 of us, and Dad insisted we split the check. After college, I moved out immediately into a studio apartment that was basically a glorified closet, but it was mine, and I didn't owe anyone anything for it. Spent the next decade grinding like my life depended on it. Worked for a few financial firms, learned everything I could about investment strategies, started doing private consulting on the side. My specialty became helping small businesses optimize their finances and plan for growth. I had a knack for seeing inefficiencies and fixing them. Plus, I genuinely cared about helping people build wealth the right way. Word spread quickly in Denver's business community. By 28, I'd launched my own financial consulting firm. Started small, just me, working out of my apartment, but I was good at what I did, really good. Companies started paying serious money to have me analyze their operations and develop growth strategies. Within 3 years, I had 6 full-time employees and was pulling down more money than Dad made in his best years. Tyler? Complete opposite trajectory. Bounced between marketing jobs, sales gigs, even tried being a personal trainer for a while. Nothing stuck. He'd get fired for showing up late, quit because the work was beneath him, or get laid off when companies realized he didn't actually do anything productive. The pattern was always the same. Tyler would get excited about a new job, talk about how this was finally his big break, and then within 3 to 6 months, something would go wrong. It was never his fault, of course. The boss was unreasonable. The coworkers were jealous. The company was poorly managed. Never occurred to him that the common denominator in all these failures was him. Meanwhile, Mom and Dad kept making excuses. Tyler just hasn't found the right fit yet. He's too creative for corporate environments. Once he finds his passion, he'll really take off. Around 26, Tyler met Jessica at some club. Jessica is, well, there's no polite way to say this. She's a walking, talking gold digger who saw Tyler's pretty face and his parents' willingness to bankroll his life and decided she'd hit the jackpot. Jessica's one of those women who's never worked a real job, but somehow always has perfectly done nails, designer handbags, and opinions about how everyone else should spend their money. She got pregnant 3 months after meeting Tyler. Whether on purpose or not, I'll leave to your imagination. They had a shotgun wedding that cost Mom and Dad $30,000, which they didn't have, followed by 2 more kids in quick succession. Now they've got 3 kids under 8. Tyler still can't hold a job for more than 6 months. And Jessica spends her days on social media posting about how hard her life is while showing off whatever new thing mom and dad bought her. The bailouts became a monthly tradition. Car payments when Tyler got fired again, rent money when they got eviction notices, credit card payments, medical bills, grocery money. They even funded Tyler's brilliant idea to start a social media consulting business, which lasted about 3 months and accomplished nothing except burning through $8,000 of mom and dad's money. I kept my distance, mostly. Showed up for holidays, but never shared details about my business or income. Why would I? Every success I had was met with polite disinterest before the conversation immediately pivoted to Tyler and Jessica's latest crisis or what the kids needed. The few times I did mention business milestones, landing a major client, hiring new staff, getting featured in a local business magazine, the response was always the same. "That's nice, Paula," followed immediately by, "Tyler's been having such a hard time finding the right opportunity." I learned to just keep my mouth shut and focus on building my wealth. By 2022, my business was doing well enough that I was ready to buy a house. Not just any house. I wanted something that reflected all the work I'd put in. Started looking at places in the $400,000 range, which in Denver gets you something decent, but not crazy. I should have known better than to let anyone in my family find out about it. The leak happened through my own stupidity. I was at a client meeting and mentioned house hunting to make small talk. Turns out my client's wife goes to the same yoga class as Jessica. In a city of 700,000 people, what are the odds? The phone call started that same evening. "Paula, honey," Mom's voice was sickeningly sweet. "I heard you're looking to buy a house. How exciting. Why didn't you tell us?" I tried to play it down. "Just starting to look around, Mom. Nothing serious yet." "Well, Tyler and Jessica and I have been talking and we think this is such a wonderful opportunity. You'll want something with at least 4 bedrooms for when the kids visit and a big backyard where they can play. Maybe a pool. Jessica was just saying how the kids would love a pool." I felt my blood pressure spike. "Mom, I'm looking for a place for me. I don't need 4 bedrooms. "Don't be silly, Paula. Family is the most important thing. You'll want space for Tyler and Jessica and the kids to come stay, and for your father and me to visit too. We could help you look. Jessica has such good taste." The audacity was breathtaking. I'd been living independently for over a decade, built a successful business, and saved responsibly for years to afford this house. But somehow Jessica, who'd never earned an honest dollar in her life, had good taste that she apparently needed. The next 2 weeks were a relentless assault of text messages, emails, and Zillow links. Not regular houses, mansions. 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms, massive lots, finished basements, 3-car garages. Every message highlighting features specifically designed for Tyler's family. "Paula, look at this one. The basement is perfect for Tyler to set up his home office. This house has a wonderful playroom area for the kids. The master suite has a sitting room where Jessica could do her makeup videos." They weren't even pretending this was about me anymore. Jessica started sending me direct messages about how excited she was to help decorate our new family space and asking if I'd considered adding a hot tub. Our family space, a house I hadn't even bought yet, with money I earned, was already ours in her mind. Every listing they sent was at least $200,000 over my budget. When I pointed this out, Mom's response was, "Oh, Paula, with your business doing so well, I'm sure you can afford it. Besides, it's an investment. Property values always go up, right?" An investment in housing Tyler's family rent-free, while I paid the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. What could possibly go wrong? The breaking point came when Tyler called me directly, all excited. "Dude, Mom showed us this amazing place on Zillow. 7 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, huge kitchen. It's perfect for all of us. Jessica's already planning how to set up the kids' rooms." "Tyler, I'm not buying a house for all of us. I'm buying a house for me." "Yeah, but we're family, right? And it's not like you need all that space just for yourself. This way, the kids can have their own rooms when they stay over. Jessica and I won't be cramped. Mom and Dad can visit whenever they want. It's like a win-win." That's when I realized they weren't just hoping I'd buy a house. They were expecting me to buy their house and let them live in it. The entitlement was breathtaking. "Tyler, who's paying for this house?" "Well, you are, but..." "And who's going to pay the mortgage every month?" "You. But Paula, we're talking about family here. We'd help out when we could." "When you could?" "Tyler, you can't even pay your own rent consistently." That's not fair. I've been having some bad luck with jobs lately, but things are turning around. I hung up on him. I stopped responding to their messages and kept looking on my own. Found exactly what I wanted about 3 weeks later. A modern 3-bedroom house in a nice neighborhood, about 45 minutes from my parents. Perfect home office, 2-car garage, decent yard, and most importantly, space for exactly one person to live comfortably. Put in an offer and closed within a month. Kept the whole thing completely secret from family. I knew Mom was planning a big Thanksgiving dinner. She'd been talking about it for weeks, insisting everyone had to be there for a special announcement. I had a pretty good idea what the announcement would be, them revealing which mansion they'd picked out for me and expecting me to commit to buying it. The whole family was there when I arrived. Tyler and Jessica's 3 kids running around screaming. Jessica on her phone ignoring them while complaining about how tired she was. Tyler on the couch watching football. Mom bustling around the kitchen making way too much food. Dad pretending to help, but mostly just drinking soda. Dinner conversation was predictable. Tyler complaining about his latest job, some sales position he'd probably get fired from within months. Jessica talking about how expensive everything was and how hard it was to find good childcare. The kids being loud and disruptive while their parents ignored them. I sat there watching the chaos and felt nothing but relief that I'd be going home to my quiet, clean, organized house, where nobody screamed, broke things, or expected me to fix their problems. After dinner, while the kids were finally quiet watching TV, Mom stood up and clinked her water glass. Everyone, I have such exciting news. We found the perfect house for Paula. Tyler and Jessica immediately perked up, grinning like they'd won the lottery. Jessica actually clapped her hands together. It's absolutely beautiful, Mom continued, pulling out printed Zillow listings. 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, finished basement, 3-car garage, and the most wonderful backyard for the children. The listing showed a $650,000 McMansion in an upscale suburb. Exactly the kind of house that screamed I have more money than sense, and would cost a fortune to heat, cool, and maintain. The kitchen is amazing, Jessica chimed in, like she was already living there. Perfect for hosting family dinners. And there's this gorgeous master suite that would be perfect for, well, whoever ends up in there. She gave me a weird wink that made my skin crawl. Tyler nodded enthusiastically. The basement would be perfect for my gaming setup, and maybe a home gym. And that 3-car garage? Plenty of space for my project car. His project car was a 1995 Honda Civic with 200,000 miles that had been under restoration for 3 years. Mostly it sat in my parents' driveway leaking oil. They had it all planned out. In their minds, I was buying a family compound, and they were all moving in. Jessica was already talking about which bedrooms would be perfect for the kids, how she could set up a craft room. We even drove by it last weekend, Mom said proudly. The neighborhood is so family-friendly. There's a playground just 2 blocks away, and the elementary school has an excellent rating. Dad chimed in, Paula, this is a real opportunity. Housing market's hot right now, but a place like this is an investment that'll pay off for generations. Your kids will thank you someday. My kids? I wasn't even dating anyone. Seriously. I let them finish their presentation, watching their excitement build. Tyler was already talking about which bedroom would be his office. Jessica was planning holiday decorations. Mom was discussing how we could convert the basement into an apartment for her and Dad when they got older. Then I smiled and dropped the bomb. That's interesting, I said. But there's something I need to tell you all. I already bought a house. The room went dead silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Their faces went through this amazing progression. Confusion, disbelief, then slowly dawning horror. What do you mean? Mom's voice was sharp. I mean, I bought a house. Closed on it 2 weeks ago. I'm moving in this weekend. The explosion was immediate. Everyone started talking at once. It's a 3-bedroom house about 45 minutes from here. Perfect for me. The meltdown was instant and spectacular. Jessica started screaming about how 3 bedrooms wasn't enough space for the family. Tyler was yelling about how I'd made this huge decision without consulting the people it affects. Mom was guilt-tripping me about family loyalty and how disappointed she was. But the real kicker came when Jessica showed her true colors. This is so selfish, Paula. What about the kids? What about us? You make all this money and you can't even think about your family. Tyler and I have been struggling. The apartment is way too small, and this was our chance to finally have some stability. Your chance? I asked calmly. What exactly did you contribute to buying this house, Jessica? I'm family now. Family helps family. You have all this money just sitting around while we can barely afford rent. So because I worked hard and saved money, I'm obligated to house you? Yes, that's what family does. The entitlement was staggering. In Jessica's mind, my success created an automatic debt to Tyler's failures. That's when Tyler dropped the real bombshell. Actually, Paula, our lease is up at the end of the month, and we can't afford to renew it. The landlord raised the rent to $2,100, and I'm between jobs right now. We were counting on moving in with you. There it was. They weren't just dreaming about a family compound. They were literally homeless in 3 weeks and had decided I was their solution. Without asking, without telling me, without earning any of it. That sounds like a personal problem, I said calmly. Dad slammed his fist on the table. Paula, that's your brother, your nephews and niece. How can you be so heartless? I'm heartless? I worked my rear end off for 15 years to build a successful business while you guys bankrolled Tyler's failures. Now you want me to buy a mansion so he doesn't have to face the consequences of his choices? How is that my responsibility? Because you're family. Mom was crying now. We raised you better than this. You raised me to work hard and be independent. You raised Tyler to expect handouts. Now you're mad that I turned out exactly like you taught me to be. The screaming match that followed was epic. Jessica called me a selfish person who only cared about money. Tyler accused me of being jealous of his family. Mom cried about how she'd raised me to be more caring than this. Dad lectured me about responsibility to family. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. Where are you going? Mom called after me. Home, I said. To my house, that I bought, for me. The harassment started immediately. Constant calls, texts, voicemails from all of them. Jessica sent me these long, rambling messages about how I was destroying children's lives and how I'd regret this when it's too late. Tyler alternated between guilt-tripping, I thought we were siblings, and threatening, you'll be sorry when something happens to us. Mom and Dad pulled out all the stops. They called my aunts and uncles, painting me as the heartless, rich daughter who abandoned her struggling family. Most of them fell for it and started calling me too. Paula, I can't believe you'd let Tyler's children be homeless, my Aunt Sarah said. Your poor parents are beside themselves. Did they mention that Tyler and Jessica have made zero effort to find affordable housing, or that they've been evicted twice in the past 3 years for not paying rent? That usually shut people up pretty quickly. But I held firm, blocked their numbers, moved into my beautiful new house, focused on my business. My stress levels dropped dramatically once I wasn't dealing with their constant drama and demands. The house was everything I'd wanted. Quiet neighborhood, great home office setup, low maintenance, and most importantly, nobody else's mess to clean up or problems to solve. 3 months later, my Uncle Paul called. Paul's always been the straight shooter in the family, and unlike everyone else, he actually listened to my side of the story. Paula, you need to know what's really going on, he said. Your parents are in serious financial trouble. All those years of bailing out Tyler have wiped out their retirement savings, and they're carrying massive credit card debt. They took out a second mortgage on their house to keep funding his lifestyle. It all made sense. They weren't just enabling Tyler, they were bankrupting themselves to do it. And their grand plan was for me to buy the mansion so Tyler's family could live rent-free while they figured out their finances. It gets worse, Paul continued. Tyler and Jessica are about to be evicted. He lost that sales job 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, and Jessica's been running up debt on credit cards your parents co-signed for. They're all going down together. What about the kids? I asked. I might be angry with the adults, but the kids didn't choose the situation. That's the worst part, Paul said. Tyler and Jessica are so focused on blaming you for their problems that they're not actually doing anything to solve them. The kids are the ones suffering. Perfect. They'd created their own disaster through years of bad decisions and toxic enabling, and now they were paying the price. But instead of taking responsibility, they were doubling down on making it my fault. My business continued to grow. By early 2024, I landed 3 major corporate contracts and hired 4 more employees. I bought a new truck, upgraded my home office, and started planning a vacation to Japan. Life was good. Then Paul called again in March. Paula, it's gotten bad. Really bad. Your parents lost the house. They're staying with Tyler and Jessica in some extended stay motel, all 6 of them crammed into 2 adjoining rooms. Tyler was working at a call center making $12 an hour. Jessica had finally gotten a part-time retail job, but complained constantly about having to work. The kids were acting out, getting in trouble at school. Despite everything, I felt a pang of sympathy. Those kids didn't deserve the mess their parents had created. Your mom called me crying yesterday, Paul continued. Asked if I thought you'd help them if they apologized. I told her I doubted it, but she's desperate. They all are. 2 days later, I got a text from Mom. Paula, please, we need to talk. It's important. I didn't respond. Then Jessica texted. Please, Paula, the kids need stability. I'm begging you. Still nothing. Finally, Tyler called from a number I hadn't blocked yet. When I answered, he sounded broken. Paula, I know I messed up. We all did. But the kids, they don't deserve this. We're living in a motel. Mom and Dad lost everything. Jessica's having panic attacks every day. I'll do anything, Paula, anything you want. Just please, help us. For the first time in months, Tyler sounded genuine. Not entitled, not demanding, just desperate, defeated. Anything? I asked. Yes, whatever you want. I thought about it for a moment. I'll consider it. But first, I want all of you, Mom, Dad, you, and Jessica, to meet me at my house this Saturday at 2 p.m. Okay. You're going to sit in my living room and explain to me exactly how you plan to pay me back for 15 years of being treated like garbage while you bankrolled failure. Paula, we don't have money to pay you back. Not money, Tyler. I want something more valuable than money. I want acknowledgement. I want apologies. Real ones. And I want Jessica to explain to me why she thinks she's entitled to live in a house she didn't pay for. Saturday came. They showed up in Dad's beat-up old car, looking like they'd aged 10 years in 6 months. The kids were dirty and cranky. Jessica looked like she'd been crying for weeks. Tyler had lost weight and couldn't make eye contact. I let them sit in my beautiful living room and look around at what success actually looked like. New furniture, big screen TV, expensive art on the walls, everything they'd once tried to take over. Nice place, Tyler said quietly. Thank you, I replied. I worked very hard for it. Now let's talk about why you're here. What followed was 2 hours of the most satisfying conversation of my life. One by one, they broke down and admitted everything. Mom went first. Paula, I know we made mistakes. We thought Tyler needed more help, and you were always so capable. But we took advantage of that. We took you for granted. Dad nodded. Sweetheart, we were wrong. We should have been proud of what you accomplished instead of just expecting you to fix everyone else's problems. Tyler was the hardest to break, but eventually he cracked too. I know I've been a screw-up, Paula. I know I've wasted every opportunity Mom and Dad gave me. I was jealous of you, okay? You made everything look so easy while I couldn't even keep a job. But that's on me, not you. Jessica was the most pitiful of all. Her voice trembled, eyes red and swollen. I never had anything growing up, she sobbed. When I met Tyler, I thought his family had money. I thought you'd all take care of us. I didn't know it would end up like this. So you saw a meal ticket and went for it, I said. And when that didn't work out, you decided I should be the meal ticket instead. She didn't even deny it. When they were done groveling, I leaned back in my chair and folded my arms. Here's what's going to happen, I said calmly. I'm going to help you, but not the way you expected. They looked up, eyes wide and hopeful. I held up a finger. Tyler, you're going to take a job with my company. Data entry, $15 an hour. You'll work for it. No special treatment. No excuses. No showing up late. Tyler nodded slowly. Okay. Jessica, you're going to get full-time employment and stop posting on social media about how hard your life is. You'll stop pretending you're owed something just because you married into this family. She opened her mouth to object. I raised a hand. This isn't a negotiation. Mom and Dad, you're going to get jobs too. Part-time. Something to bring in income and give you purpose. But Paula, Mom began, we're in our 60s. You should have thought about that before you spent your retirement on Tyler's mistakes, I replied flatly. I stood, walked to the mantel, and pulled out a manila envelope. Inside was a rental contract. I'll put a down payment on a basic 3-bedroom house for you to rent, not own rent from me. I looked each of them in the eye. Tyler and Jessica will pay me rent every month. On time, no excuses. Mom and Dad can live there too, but everyone contributes. The kids can have stability, but every adult in that house will work for it. What if we can't make the payments? Tyler asked softly. I smiled. Then you'll find out what homelessness really feels like. Your choice. Tyler looked around my living room one more time, then back at me. When do I start? They took the deal. What else could they do? Update, 6 months later. Tyler's still working for me. Doing exactly what I tell him to do, for exactly what I pay him. He shows up on time, follows instructions, and has stopped making excuses when things don't go his way. Turns out he's actually capable of decent work when he has proper motivation. Jessica works at Target and has stopped posting inspirational quotes about deserving better. She's discovered that having a steady paycheck, even from retail work, feels better than constant financial anxiety. Who knew? Mom and Dad both got part-time jobs and are slowly rebuilding some dignity. Mom works at a local flower shop. Dad does bookkeeping for a small construction company. They're not making much, but they're contributing instead of just consuming. The kids are in a good school district now. They have their own rooms. They're learning what it means to be part of a family where everyone contributes instead of just taking. Their grades have improved. Their behavior problems have decreased. They seem genuinely happier with the stability. The house I bought for them isn't fancy. It's a basic 3-bedroom ranch in a decent neighborhood, but it's clean, safe, affordable. More importantly, everyone who lives there has to work to stay there. And me? I'm planning that trip to Japan, driving my new truck, sleeping peacefully in my beautiful house that no one else gets to live in. My business is thriving, my stress levels are manageable, and I finally have the family dynamic I always wanted, one where I'm in control. They call me every month to thank me for saving the family. What they don't understand is I didn't save them. I bought them. And now they work for me, live in my property, follow my rules. Tyler texted me yesterday. Thanks for giving me a chance, sis. I know I don't deserve it. He's right. He doesn't. None of them do. But sometimes the best revenge isn't refusing to help. It's helping on your own terms. They wanted me to fund their lifestyle. Instead, I gave them exactly what they always needed, but never wanted. Accountability. It's exactly what they deserve, and exactly what I always knew I'd end up with. Complete control. Over my life, and theirs too. Best investment I ever made.